Perfect.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, then we will continue like this one. Eric, can you hear us?
Yes, perfectly.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
perfect. Okay. Eric, you have your own presentation, then you will share your screen, or you can
Yes,
also.
I'll do. I will send it to you, yes, in case. So I'm gonna send it now. But
Yeah,
let
no
me try
problem.
to
You can also share it, whatever you wish.
let me see if it works.
Basically, I would like to say just one thing. Maybe some of our listeners cannot understand very well the situation because of they don't know the English. We cannot make the translation at the same time. Maybe in some certain cases, if there's something very important, I can just give a couple of seconds break. Then I can give a small explanation on it to the listener. Then this is just for information.
Okay.
Can you see?
Yes,
Can you
Eric,
see my
perfect.
screen?
We can
Yeah.
perfectly see it, no problem.
Awesome. Okay.
Great, awesome. Okay. Okay, great. Our Deputy Minister, Mr. Ahmet, also is online. I think he's also waiting. Then, if it's okay, then we will keep waiting until 10:30.
Okay. Excellent. All right.
Excellent.
All the very best. See you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Nasıl yapar? İsmail Bey, duyabiliyor musunuz? Merhaba, Ömer ben, MÜSİAD Kurumsal'da.
Merhaba, duyuyorum Ömer Bey.
YouTube'da da içerik şu an canlı yayınlanacağı için bir test açtık. Olcay Bey de yanımda şu anda. Bu toplantıyı sonlandırıp yeniden saati gelince başlatacak mıyız? Bilginiz var mı?
Bekleyebiliriz, problem yok.
Tamam o zaman.
Zaten herkes gündüz
Şöyle
bekliyorlar. Bence
canlı
bekleyebiliriz.
yayında
Sorun
akış
değil.
devam ediyor. Şöyle yapalım o zaman. Ben şimdilik kendimi sessize alacağım. Canlı yayın devam ediyor. Toplantı da açık. Saat gelince tüm katılımcılar kabul
Aynen,
edilip
zaten
sanırım
15
toplantıya devam
dakika
edebilirsiniz.
Bir süresel problemimiz yok değil mi? Bu 15 dakika böyle beklediğimiz zaman sorunumuz yok.
Olcay Bey?
Yok, bir sorun.
Yok, sorun yok. Bekleyebiliriz.
Tamam, o zaman sessiz alıp bekliyoruz. Testimizi yaptık, problem yok. Binu Bey
Doğru, şu an
sunumunu
akıştayız.
bize
YouTube canlı yayını
göndermiştir.
devam ediyor. Linkini de Olcay Bey'e vereceğim birazdan.
Teşekkür ediyorum. Kolay
Ben
gelsin.
teşekkür ederim. Hoşça kalın.
İsmail Bey duyabiliyor musunuz?
Başkanım, duyuyoruz.
Tamam,
Hafif böyle bir cızırtılı gibi ama ses.
Tamam, biz de bir kontrol edelim istedik de.
Görüntüyü bir netleştirsinler. Sese sonra bakalım o zaman. Biz az önce bir test yaptık İrene tarafıyla.
Evet.
Bir problem sorun yok.
Biz de takip ettik. Buradan demiş gelecek birazdan bir test
Tamam.
ederiz değil mi?
Hafif böyle bir sizin sesiniz geliyor başkanım. Cızırtılı gibi geliyor. Onu bilmiyorum neden.
Şimdi daha iyi midir?
Biraz daha düzeldi.
Şimdi nasıl?
Yine cızırtılı geldi tekrar. Serhat Bey, açamadım. Halime Başkanım'la bir test yapıyorduk. Ses geliyor mu diye.
Merhabalar.
Kusura bakmayın. Merhabalar.
Kolaylıklar diliyorum.
Sağ olun.
Merhaba,
Sağ
sağ
olun.
olun.
Bakan Bey'in konuşması tarafındaki ses ve görüntü şeyini yapıyor da.
Nasıl İsmail Bey?
Tekrar bir deneme yapabilir miyiz Halime Başkanım? Böyle sanki böyle bir arkadan bir eko ve yapıyor gibi, cızırtı yapıyor gibi geliyor ama.
Olabilir belki. Şimdi nasıl?
Serhat Bey, siz nasıl duyuyorsunuz? Benden
Yok, hala ekolu geliyor başkanım. Bu geliyor yani.
Tamam.
Böyle biraz cızırtılı ve ekolu geliyor.
Evet.
Anladım. Bizim teknik arkadaşlarımız
Evet. Biraz orada bir düzeltme yapabilirlerse.
arkadaşımız.
Evet.
Ben şimdi nasıl?
Yine var. Başkanım,
Yine
yine
var.
var cızırtı.
Var.
Biz bir kapatalım tekrar bu
Sadece
arada.
sizinki değil, arkadan arkadaşların konuşması da öyle geliyor ama. Muhtemelen
Evet.
genel bir şey.
Evet.
Bak onlar konuştu başkanım, şimdi onlarınki de öyle
Evet.
cızırtılı geldi. Görüntümüz güzel, görüntüde bir problem yok.
Yine katılımcılar olmuş.
Yani siz İrem tarafında vesaire bir eko yoktu değil mi? Hani biz eko falan duymadık burada ama hani
Bizim sesimiz nasıl geliyor size başkanım? Bizim sesimiz düzgün mü?
normal geliyor.
Normal geliyor, evet. Sizinkinde öyle bir cızırtı var.
Anladım. Biz bir kapatalım tekrar bunu almayalım.
Hay hay,
Sağ olun.
tamamdır.
Sağ olun.
Tamamdır.
And Ismail Bey, also, as I assume that the Iranian team is here.
Yes.
Yes, Ismail, Serhat.
Hello Petya, hello, how are you?
I'm good,
Hello.
I'm good. I
Welcome,
understood
welcome.
you already tested the sharing.
Yes, we tested, no
Sorry,
problem.
I had some technical issues. I couldn't join immediately, but
Yes,
I
yes,
think
no problem.
everything is
Okay, no problem.
With Mr. Binu and Eric, we tested it to share the screen and the speaking.
Yes,
There's no
so
problem.
we
Okay.
will start with group. I mean, my understanding is that first there will be opening from the ministry, and then on your side, and then Gurbus will deliver our opening speech, and then
Yes.
we move directly to Bino.
Okay.
And if you can, if we can have also the Q&A session immediately after Bino's presentation, I mean for his part,
Okay.
and then we continue with Eric.
Petya, sorry, Gürbüz will not make a presentation. He will just make a speech.
No, he will
right?
have only opening remarks,
Opening
like
speech. Okay. For
up
the
to 5
opening,
minutes.
for the opening speech, Petya, first our president from MÜSİAD will be giving a speech. Okay. After Mr. Gürbüz will be giving a speak, and the last one will be our deputy minister for the
Okay, okay.
because
Okay,
of the protocol, you know.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll inform him now.
Please, yes.
Immediately.
After our Minister of Deputy Minister will be giving the speech, then we will start the presentation with Binu.
Okay, good.
And after Eric and after our expert from the Minister of Energy, then we will give the closing. Okay?
Yes, but please let's have a Q&A session. If there are any questions in relation to Binu's presentation, let's do it immediately after his presentation.
After his presentation. Okay.
Yeah, just to.
Okay, Petya, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yours.
Thanks a lot.
İsmail Bey, benim sesim nasıl geliyor?
Gayet güzel.
Ben-
Gayet güzel.
Sizin sesiniz de gayet güzel geliyor.
Az önce Binu ve Erik Bey'le testleri yaptık. Onlarda da problem yok. Hem ekran paylaşımı hem sesler konusunda.
Hı.
Bir Bakan Bey'in konuşmasında işte Halime Başkanımız deneme yapıyor. Orada biraz böyle cızırtı var gibi ama inşallah çözülür. Bu arada Ahmet Bey de gelmiş. Ahmet Badır Bey de herhalde dinleyici olacak.
İsmail Bey şimdi nasıl sesimiz?
Evet başkanım, şimdi düzeldi. Güzel.
Ha, iyi, çok güzel, tamam.
Aynen öyle. Başkanım, görüntü olarak bakanlığımızın logosu tam çıkmıyor. Önemli değil herhalde, değil mi? Çünkü daha
Yok, biz onu
yukarıya getirsek
ayarlayacağız. O şey,
Bakan Bey'in bu sefer şeyi çıkmaz.
kamerayı ayarlarız.
Tamam,
Evet,
güzel.
onu şey
Tamam,
yapacağız.
gayet güzel başkanım. Düzelmiş
Tamam,
şu an. Teşekkür
oldu.
ediyoruz.
Tamam, sağ
Tamam.
olun.
Bekliyoruz. Sağ olun.
Deneme.
Erkan Başkanım hayırlı sabahlar.
Sesi değil.
Hayırlı sabahlar İsmail Hakkı Başkanım.
Tamam, sesiniz de güzel, görüntünüz de güzel. Eyvallah.
Eyvallah. Teşekkür ederiz.
Şimdi Bakan Bey'i ekrana alacağız. Ekran alınca inşallah başlatacağız. Telefonlaştık.
Hayırlı sabahlar.
Bakan Bey'imiz geldi. Ekranı alalım. Heh. Tamam. Bismillah diyelim. Çok kıymetli Enerji ve Tabii Kaynaklar Bakan Yardımcımız Ahmet Berat Çonkar Bey, hoş geldiniz diyorum. Hayırlı sabahlar.
Hoş bulduk. Teşekkür ediyorum. Ben de sizlere
teşekkür
hepinizi
ediyoruz.
sevgiyle selamlıyorum.
Allah razı olsun bakanım, teşekkür ediyoruz. Çok kıymetli MÜSİAD Sektör Kurulları ve Fuar Komisyonu Başkanımız Erkan Gül Başkanım. İRENA tarafının çok kıymetli temsilcileri, onlara bir de İngilizce hoş geldiniz demek istiyorum. Dear IRENA site, also we are very welcome and we are very happy to see you in our meeting. All your team will be welcoming to your site also. Tüm kıymetli dinleyicilerimiz, üyelerimiz, sizlere de hoş geldiniz diyoruz. Bu kıymetli toplantının inşallah webinar olan kısmını, ki bir sonrakini de Ekim ayında canlı olarak MÜSİAD Genel Merkezimizde inşallah icra etmeye gayret edeceğiz Ekim ayı içerisinde. Bakanlık programımızın uygunluğunu aldıktan sonra. Oraya da şimdiden ben tekrar katılımcılarımızı davet etmek istiyorum. Toplantımızın hayırlara vesile olmasını diliyorum. Kıymetli Erkan Başkanıma açılış konuşmaları için söz veriyoruz. Akabinde inşallah programımızı başlatmış olacağız. Buyurun başkanım.
Çok teşekkür ederim İsmail Hakkı Başkanım. Çok kıymetli Bakan Yardımcım, İRENA grubunun değerli temsilcileri, kıymetli konuşmacılar, üyelerimiz, dinleyicilerimiz, hepinize programımıza hoş geldiniz diyorum. Genel Başkanımız Sayın Mahmut Asman'ın selamlarını iletmek istiyorum. Kendisi katılamadı ama bu alanda yaptığımız çalışmaları her zaman destekçisi olarak yanımızda oldu. Onun da selamlarını iletmek istiyorum. Bugün burada Enerji Bakanlığımız, İRENA ve MÜSİAD işbirliğiyle düzenlenen bu önemli programda sizlerle bir arada olmak bizler için büyük bir mutluluk. Bu etkinlik yenilenebilir enerji ve çevre yatırımlarının artırılması, proje geliştirme ve finansman alanlarında ülkemiz için büyük bir fırsat oluşturacağına inanıyoruz. İran'ın Türkiye'de düzenleyeceği ilk program olması nedeniyle de ülkemizin enerji dönüşümünde bu webinarın öncü bir rol üstlenmeye başlayacağına inanıyoruz. Bildiğiniz üzere İran'a 169 Birleşmiş Milletler üyesi ülkenin ortak girişimiyle kurulmuş küresel yenilenebilir enerji ve çevre yatırımlarının artırılması, proje geliştirme ve finansman alanlarında çalışan önemli bir platform. Ayrıca bu program Ekim 2024'te Biraz önce İsmail Hakkı Başkanımızın da dile getirdiği üzere inşallah bakanımızın teşrifleriyle MÜSİAD Genel Merkezi'nde yapacağımız zirvenin de bir ön hazırlığı olmasını ümit ediyoruz. Enerji sektöründe karşı karşıya olduğumuz en büyük zorluklardan biri fosil yakıtlara olan bağımlılığımızı azaltarak yenilenebilir enerji kaynaklarını geçişi hızlandırmak. MÜSİAD olarak bu geçişin önemini her fırsatta vurguluyor ve bu yönde adımlar atmaya gayret ediyoruz. Hatırlatmak isterim, İcra Kurulu Başkanlığı'nda yaptığımız MÜSİAD Vizyoner 21'de yayınladığımız iklim manifestosuyla bu konudaki kararlılığımızı bir kez daha gözler önüne sermiştik. Manifestomuzda belirttiğimiz gibi iklim değişikliğiyle mücadele ve sürdürülebilir enerji politikalarının geliştirilmesi bizler için hayati bir öncelik taşımakta. Bu vesileyle önceki dönem sektör kurulu başkanımız, şu anda da sektör kurulları komisyon başkan yardımcımız olan Altuğ Karataş Bey'e teşekkür etmek isterim. Bugün burada yenilenebilir enerji kaynaklarının sürdürülebilir kalkınma için taşıdığı önemi bir kez daha vurgulamak ve işbirliklerimizi güçlendirmek adına toplandık. Hep birlikte temiz enerjiye geçiş sürecini hızlandırarak çevremizi koruyacak ve gelecek nesillere daha yaşanılabilir bir dünya bırakmayı arzu ediyoruz. İrene ile birlikte gerçekleştirdiğimiz bu webinar sadece enerji sektörü için değil, aynı zamanda ekonomik büyüme ve çevresel sürdürülebilirlik açısından da önemli fırsatlar sunmaktadır. İşbirliklerimizi güçlendirerek, yenilikçi projeleri imza atarak ve finansman olanaklarını artırarak enerji sektöründe lider bir konuma gelmeyi ülke olarak hedefliyoruz. Bu bağlamda Enerji Bakanlığımızın, İrem Hanım ve MÜSİAD'ın ortaklaşa düzenlediği bu programın enerji sektörüne yeni bir dönemin başlangıcını temsil ettiğine inanıyorum. Katılımınız ve katkılarınız için hepinize tekrar teşekkür ediyor. Verimli ve başarılı bir program olmasını canı gönülden arzu ediyorum. Ülkemizde ilk kez İran'ın böyle bir programda tanıtılacağı ve tartışılacağı programımızın gerçekleşmesinde desteklerini esirgemeyen Enerji ve Tabii Kaynaklar Bakanımız Sayın Alparslan Bayraktar'a, Sayın Bakan Yardımcımız Ahmet Berat Çonkar'a ve bakanlığımızın kıymetli yetkililerine huzurlarınızda teşekkür ediyorum. Programımızın ilk fazı olan bu webinarın hayırlar getirmesini Cenab-ı Hak'tan niyaz ediyorum. Saygı, sevgi ve hürmetlerimle.
Çok teşekkür ederiz başkanım. Ağzınıza sağlık. Yine açılış konuşmaları için tanıdık bir ismimiz var. İrena Direktörü kıymetli Gürbüz Gönül Bey'e ben sözü vermek istiyorum. Kendisinden de bir kısa açılış konuşması rica edip arkasından Bakan Bey'e inşallah sözü bırakmış olacağız. Gürbüz Bey buyurun.
Çok teşekkürler İsmail Bey. Umarım beni rahat duyabiliyorsunuz.
Güzel.
Sayın Bakan Yardımcımız Ahmet Berat Çonkar Bey, Sayın Erkan Gül Bey, değerli katılımcılar. Öncelikle bu organizasyon için çok teşekkür ediyorum. Çok uzun zamandır daha önceden yapmamız gereken bir organizasyondu. Fakat teşekkürler MÜSİAD'a ve Enerji Bakanlığı'na. Bu bir webinarla başlıyoruz. Sizin de söylediğiniz gibi. Fakat daha sonra fiziki olarak da bir araya geleceğiz inşallah. Ve ümit ediyorum ki pek çok işbirliği fırsatı ortaya çıkacak bu tartışmalar neticesinde, bu istişareler neticesinde. Ben de eski bir enerji ve tabii Kaynaklar Bakanlığı personeli olarak özellikle çok memnunum böyle bir fırsat sağladığınız için Sayın Bakan Yardımcımız. Geçmişten bugüne pek çok çalışma, pek çok alanlarda çalışma fırsatı kovaladık. Birkaç tane alanda Türkiye ile İran arasında bulduk. Fakat kesinlikle çok daha geniş çerçeveli bir çalışma ortamı yaratabileceğimizi düşünüyorum. Ve bu fırsatı da verdiğiniz için tekrar Enerji Bakanlığı'na ve sizlere, MÜSİAD'a çok teşekkür ederim. İzin verirseniz İngilizce olarak da birkaç söz söylemek istiyorum. For the benefit of Irina, I would like to also spend few words in English, if you allow me. So once again, thank you very much it's really a great pleasure to be part of this event and introduce Irina to a wider spectrum of stakeholders in Turkey. And, you know, Turkey is a founding member of IRENA, and we have had a number of streams of collaboration in the past, but there is definitely a much larger room to expand it and further deepen it. And we hope that this webinar will open up new opportunities of cooperation. And many thanks to Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources and MÜSİAD for facilitating it. We will be touching upon quite a wide range of topics during these discussions. My two colleagues, Binu and Eric, they will be presenting different streams of work within IRENA, which we think most relevant for a potential cooperation with Turkey. And many of our work is very much linked to some of the key challenges, key drivers of renewable energy deployment. One is obviously the climate change and how renewable energy can achieve a net zero world in the future by 2050, but also equally about sustainable development and also energy security. So there are different dimensions of energy transition, and we have witnessed it clearly that how energy transition based on renewables contributed to the securing energy supplies during the crisis period, and how solutions can be developed and implemented to address that. On the climate side, I mean, the action is urgent. We have been discussing it for long. I think you have been part of also the climate process. And renewable energy is deploying fast. And we have seen more than 50% increase in deployment last year, 473 gigawatt globally, compared to previous year. But still, we are short to achieve climate objectives. We need at least 100 gigawatt per year till 2030 to be able to achieve the objectives. The previous COP28 in Dubai, they set with the UAE consensus, they set an important political ambition for tripling renewables and doubling energy efficiency by 2030. Obviously, these are key drivers for us. But it is important that what actions needs to be taken to be able to achieve it, because we have stumbling blocks. We have the infrastructure problem. In many instances, infrastructure is simply not enough. Not enough for developing countries, not enough for developed countries. Industrial countries are also suffering from infrastructure insufficiency. And it is not only the power infrastructure, it's about e-mobility, it is about green hydrogen, ports, pipelines. I think there's a kind of wide range of infrastructure issues that needs to be addressed. That's why I think my colleague Binu will talk about the new initiative, basically specifically targeting the utilities and how we can stimulate investments into grid. I think this is an important part of IRENA's work lately. But also kind of more broadly, policies, market design, how we should evolve policy and regulatory frameworks to incentivize targeted investments and innovation, but also how we can maximize socioeconomic benefits coming up with that. And finally, skills and capacities, how we can keep up with the necessary availability of the skills fit with the ambitions we have. So we'll be presenting a quite wide range of IRENA products that we think most relevant. I think Turkey is already doing great. I think it's one of the front runners in renewables deployment. And the opportunities that Turkey has is abundant, in fact, because even for the power sector, Turkey is traditionally a hydro country. Lately, we have witnessed a very large-scale penetration of geothermal. And with mixing it with the low-cost solar and wind, I think it's the balanced mix of energy supply is already there for the power sector. It's a matter of how we can do a flexible energy system, because it's not only about the supply and having flexible supply, but it is also how the grid is strengthened, how the decentralized generation can be integrated into the overall system, how the demand management is done, and also the strategically locating. Now we are talking a lot about the storage facilities and how storage can be strategically located across the system. And I think Turkey has all these enablers to be able to achieve that transition. So with that, I would like to hand it over back to you, and perhaps it will be great to hear from the minister, the deputy minister, for his remarks. Thank you. Teşekkürler tekrar.
Thank you. Teşekkür ediyoruz Gürbüz Bey konuşmanız için. Ben de kıymetli açılış konuşmalarını yapmak üzere Sayın Bakanımız Ahmet Berat Çonkar'a sözü vermek istiyorum. Buyurun Sayın Bakanım.
Evet, çok teşekkür ediyorum. Ben de hepinizi sevgiyle, saygıyla selamlıyorum. Ben de konuşmamı İngilizce olarak bundan sonraki kısmını devam ettireceğim. Distinguished representatives of IRENA and MÜSİAD, colleagues from Ministry of Energy and dear participants. It's a profound honor to address you today at this IRENA and MÜSİAD joint event supported by our ministry. I am very pleased to be with you on the occasion of this event. IRENA is the leading international organization on renewable energy, and as Turkey, we aim to improve our collaboration and cooperation activities with IRENA. We applied for the vice presidency of the 15th Assembly, and also council membership for the next term is on our agenda. We are now part of the program and strategy committee. In this regard, I believe that this will be a useful and a very fruitful event for the stakeholders, which will help us to better understand IRENA's activities, considering project preparation and to strengthen our joint activities. Distinguished participants, climate change, the pandemic, supply chain issues, high energy and commodity prices, increasing costs of capital, high inflation, geopolitical challenges are just some of the recent risks in today's energy world. Additionally, most of the countries declared net zero emission targets. All these developments and energy transition activities necessitate fundamental changes in policies and significant amount of investments. Renewable energy is an important part of these policies. In light of all these considerations, Turkey has implemented various policies and strategies aimed at realizing energy transition and strengthening its energy supply security. Here, I want to give brief information on our energy transition policies. The origins of the transformation in our energy sector date back to 20 years. While first ensuring that the private sector became a stakeholder in Turkey's energy field, this revolution was followed by the National Energy and Mining Policy, which aims to implement major projects that will contribute to energy supply security. Ultimately, our president announced the net zero emission target for 2053 and demonstrated Turkey's role and determination in this global effort. We all know that achieving this goal is a difficult one ahead of us, and that all sectors must undergo a radical transformation towards the use of clean energy. The burden of developing countries such as Turkey in this transformation is increasing due to the increase in demand. We must realize an energy transformation that will meet this increase in demand in a low carbon way without compromising security of supply. In order to achieve this transformation in our country, we will increase the use of renewable energy resources, encourage the discovery of energy efficiency potential in all areas of the economy, increase the utilization of nuclear energy and natural gas as transition fuel, make the necessary investments in hydrogen, critical minerals, storage and digitalization technologies, and energy infrastructures. Also, we will increase access to international finance and cooperation as well. According to the National Energy Plan we recently announced, we aim to reach a total installed capacity of approximately 190 gigawatt by 2035. And 74% of this capacity will consist of renewable energy sources. To achieve this goal, we will commission 3.5 gigawatt of solar energy and 1.5 gigawatt of onshore wind energy capacity each and every year until 2035. In addition, we have a target of 5 gigawatt offshore wind capacity. Today, more than half of our installed capacity, around 57%, is based on renewable energy. With respect to the renewable installed power, we are 5th in the European Union and number 11th in the world. In addition, our country has become an important producer in the energy value chain, especially in solar and wind technologies. We have created a renewables ecosystem with research and development and production capabilities. Currently, we have the 3rd biggest PV panel manufacturing capacity in the world, and we increased the localization rates in solar and wind power plant equipment every year. Furthermore, we will continue to support renewable projects in different ways and means, from small rooftop systems to large-scale projects. Soon, we will announce a fast-track permitting scheme as well. On the other hand, with the increase in the share of renewable energy, the need for transmission investments has also increased. Our goal is to establish a mega green grid that can accommodate large shares of renewable electricity while laying the groundwork to expand our interconnection capacity with neighboring countries. By improving our grid and developing supply chain capacity, especially for renewables, our contribution to the security of supply of the region will increase. In addition to increasing our use of renewable energy, we must also prioritize energy efficiency measures to reduce waste and optimize resource utilization. Recently, we announced a new energy efficiency action plan and strategy for 2024-2030. Through the implementation of our plan, we aim to reduce our energy consumption by 16% until 2030, thereby contributing to a reduction of 100 million tons of emissions. To reach these targets, we will invest $20.2 billion in energy efficiency projects alongside both the public and private sectors. Furthermore, hydrogen will take an important place in the future of Turkey's energy strategy. We announced our hydrogen technology strategy and roadmap of Turkey last year. We aim to reduce the green hydrogen production costs, and electrolyzer installed capacity will be 2 gigawatts in 2030 and 5 gigawatts in 2035. To summarize, Turkey's energy transition is guided by a comprehensive and forward-looking energy strategy that outlines long-term goals, policy measures, and action plans. This strategy also aligns with global climate commitments and national development objectives. Both public and private sector have important roles in achieving these policies. We are fully committed to have an economically, socially, and environmentally sustainable energy future for all, and in this regard, cooperation is our vital tool. As Turkey, we are ready to improve our cooperation. Dear participants, concluding my remarks, I want to thank you for the organization of this webinar and your participation, and I wish you a very, very fruitful meeting. Thank you.
Çok teşekkür ederiz Sayın Bakanım konuşmalarınız ve detaylı bilgiler için. Biz de desteklerinizi her zaman görüyoruz zaten, Allah razı olsun. İnşallah bu toplantımızın da fiziki olarak yapıldığı dönemde çok daha kıymetli temaslarda bulunmayı ümit ediyoruz. Müsaadelerinizle sunumlarımıza geçmek isteriz. İki tane çok kıymetli konuşmacımız var İrena tarafında. Kendi grupları ve bölümleriyle ilgili sunumlarını kendilerinden dinleyeceğiz. Akabinde de bakanlık temsilcimizden bakanlığımızın politikaları ve önümüzdeki döneme ilişkin hem enerji hem dekarbonizasyon konusundaki hedef ve stratejilerimizi inşallah dinleme fırsatı bulacağız. Ben katılımcılardan sadece şu ricada bulunmak istiyorum. Eğer sunumlar devam ederken bir soru veya bir yerde bir ekleme, ilave gibi bir şeylerimiz olursa toplantımızın sohbet grubundan rica ediyoruz. Eğer sohbet grubundan yazılabilirse hem sorular hem eklemeler ben sunumlarda ara ara girip bu sorular ve eklemeleri hem konuşmacılarımızla hem de dinleyicilerimizle paylaşmaya gayret edeceğim. Bunu tekrardan hatırlatmış olayım diyorum ve ilk sunumumuz için ben sözü Binu Partan Bey'e vereceğim. Dear Binu Partan, welcome again to give your speech, please. So we would like to have some I know very important and significant points you will just emphasize on what IRENA's activities and how can we collaborate in Turkish side. So we will be hearing from your side. I will be sharing your presentation right now.
Yeah.
Then
Thanks,
I'm giving you the word.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ismail Bey.
You're welcome.
And,
yes.
First of all, thanks to MÜSİAD for organizing this excellent opportunity for IRENA to share some profile of what we are doing and how to start a discussion on how it will be useful for Turkey in your energy transition. But thanks also for Honorable Minister Chanka for setting the context, and also for my director, Gudruz Bey, for providing an overview of how IRENA can be relevant to Turkey's energy transition. If we can go to the next slide, please. IRENA, as the Honorable Minister mentioned, is the premier intergovernmental agency on energy transition with renewables. We were established in 2011, with Turkey being one of the founder members of IRENA. We're currently at 169 member states, including 15 which are in accession. It will soon change to 170 with admitting a new member, Tanzania. The key point to understand here is that all of these 184 member states which completed the process and in accession together represent for about 98% of the global energy demand. So as an agency, we almost cover the whole energy demand globally, and all our member states and their actions will determine how fast and how in what characteristics the energy transition will happen. We're headquartered here in Muscat City in Abu Dhabi, where most of us are based. We also have a very important innovation and technology center in Bonn in Germany. And as with other UN affiliated agencies aligned with UN mission, we also have the representative office in New York. The agency started with a very clear and narrow focus on renewable energy in 2011. But since then, due to the importance of climate change and a number of challenges that the Honorable Minister mentioned, the pandemic, the resource crisis, the energy prices, material prices, etc., energy transition and climate action has taken center stage. And IRENA's mandate has also evolved and aligned closely with energy transition and climate change. Next slide, please. As the Honorable Minister mentioned, IRENA member states play an important role in our governance. Our major decision-making body is our assembly, which convened here in Abu Dhabi in April. And it provides the overall programmatic and strategic direction. We're very pleased to understand that Turkey, through the constituency, has expressed interest to be the vice presidency of the next assembly. So we look forward to that process being completed, and hopefully we will be guided by Turkey perspectives on what IRENA governments need to do to accelerate energy transition. We also have a council which consists of 21 IRENA member states. They do set the agenda, the details of on which the assembly makes the decision. And Turkey did guide IRENA in a number of years that you see on your screen from 2013 onwards, and all the way as an alternate member in 2022. We look forward to again having Turkey back in the council to guide our day-to-day actions and strategies. The next slide, please. As I did mention, we are based here in Abu Dhabi. The Director General is Francesco La Camera, and all of the staff here at the Secretariat. We do support Irina's Director General in discharging the Secretariat's mission. We are guided by a work program, and these work programs are again guided by the member states, including Turkey, to make sure that the contours of the work program are aligned with the global energy transition and climate action. And some of the key characteristics of the current the work program and the medium-term strategy is really that IRENA is a role as a center of excellence in energy transition, providing insights and guidance on various aspects of energy transition to member states. We also remain as the global voice for renewables. Our analytical body of work provides guidance and inputs to policies and programs in our member states. An important aspect that our own division, Gurgus, me, my colleagues, Petya, Wabra, etc., do is the support that we provide at a regional level, at a country level. And this is something where there is scope for us to work more closely with Turkey, which I'll touch upon a bit later. International collaboration is important. Several countries are on the same pathway. There is a lot of opportunity to learn from each other, countries which are in similar socioeconomic characteristics, which is another important role. And a major new feature of IRENA, which is to facilitate finance. And this is something my colleague Eric will expand on a bit, which is a new addition to IRENA's toolbox, where project finance facilitation to important projects in member states is something which has been added in this recent medium-term strategy. Next slide, please. A major development last year that Gurgus mentioned was the decision at COP28 here in the UAE of a very clear GST stocktake outcome, which is now called as the UAE consensus, that there is a clear timetable on what needs to be done in energy transition, primarily to triple renewable energy global capacity by 2030, and also double the rate of annual increase of energy efficiency by 2030, and to transition away from fossil fuels. So these three narratives provide a very clear guidance to member states of IRENA on what are the direction to follow, what are the timetable to be followed as well. And this has given a very clear direction for the agency's work up until 2030 in supporting the member states in achieving this UAE consensus. Why this is very important is increasingly we are seeing instances of climate change globally. For the last 12 months, the global temperatures of every month it has broken records, irrespective of the fact that it is a La Nina year, El Nino year. But the point really is that we're seeing more and more evidence of heat waves, extreme flooding and droughts, etc. So there is a short window of opportunity that the global community has up until 2030 to take action on climate change and renewable energy, and specifically tripling renewable energy capacities at the center of it. And IRENA has been tasked by the current COP28 presidency as the custodian agency for tripling renewables and energy efficiency. And going forward in our work, this is going to be a key component as to how we can support member states to triple renewable energy capacity globally. Just to note that it's not tripling at the country level, but contributing to the tripling capacity target of about 11 terawatts by 2030. Different countries will do depending upon their circumstances and characteristics. And one important aspect there is that we see an opportunity before the COP30 in Brazil to use the nationally determined contributions under the UNFCCC to enhance ambition and reflect that, so that the world can move towards a more climate compatible development. Next slide, please.
Yeah, sorry for disturbing. Also, what we understand, Mr. Bino, this commitment coming from the COP28 to increase the energy efficiency to double and tripling the renewables up to 2030. IRENA has a very critical role, as I understand, right? So,
Absolutely. IRENA has a critical role by its natural mandate given to it by the member states, but specifically, we also have this mandate from COP28 as a custodian agency to monitor progress amongst our member states on this commitment as well.
let me just translate it, some of the listeners, please. Bino Bey'in şu ifadesi çok önemliydi. Onu bir Türkçeleştirerek Hazirun'a ifade etmek isterim. 2030 yılı itibariyle COP29'da yaşadığımız, 28'de yaşadığımız Dubai'deki gelişmeler sonucunda IRENA önemli kritik bir rol oynadı ve dünyada 2030 yılına geldiğimizde yenilenebilir enerji kaynaklarındaki kurulu gücün 3 katına çıkarılması, enerji verimliliği çalışmalarının da 2 katına çıkarılması üzerine bir konsensus sağlandı. Bu önümüzdeki döneme ilişkin küresel olarak da yenilenebilir enerji kaynaklarına önemli destek, teşvik ve bunların daha da genişletilip büyütülebilmesi konusunda önemli bir aslında ufuk açıcı bir ifade oluyor. IRENA da bu noktada özellikle kritik bir rol üstlenmiş vaziyette. NDC dediğimiz ulusal katkı beyanları, yani ülkelerin bu kapasitelere erişim noktasında neler yapabileceği ve neler planladıkları ile ilgili de özellikle IRENA takipçi olarak görevlendirilmiş bir kuruluş. Ülkemiz de aynı şekilde bunlar kapsamında çalışmalarını sürdürüyor. Bunu da ara bir ifade olarak söylemiş olmak istedik. Okay, sorry for disturbing. For the next slide, we just jumped. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Ismail Bey. My Turkish is not as good as
of course.
Turgus Bey, so I'll continue to speak in English. So the tripling cannot just happen on its own, and as the minister mentioned, there are different dimensions of it. So this is really where one of important aspects of IRENA's work is on knowledge and policy. So we have a full-fledged division here in Abu Dhabi, which is looking at how do you really use policy instruments, financial instruments, finance facilities to advance energy transition. So some important aspect that we'd like to highlight, and the Honorable Minister also highlighted, is the need for infrastructure and investments in infrastructure that is needed. Electrical infrastructure, pipeline for green gases, etc., which are needed to accelerate this energy transition. Along with that is also required the right policies and regulations. And we were very impressed to hear about some of the long-term policies, including the references to supply chain infrastructure that the Honorable Minister mentioned. These are important. And we also need to ensure that these transitions are socioeconomically compatible in the country. So these actions are also required in part from deploying renewables. So there is a lot of work that our colleagues do in the Knowledge and Policy Division, looking at the finance landscape, what sort of finance need to improve. We also do publish renewable energy statistics from all our member states, including Turkey, which gives a sense of how this tripling target is being met, what needs to be done in what part of the world, in what technologies, etc. We'll continue to publish this, and there's actually a publication coming out in about a few weeks' time. We do look at some other aspects, like the role of water availability for green hydrogen, putting attention to aspects which are not normally considered. And we also want to look at the socio-economic transition aspects of job growth, job changes, structures, etc. So these are some of the knowledge and policy related publications that we'll continue to deploy. Next slide, please. And all of these publications are available in IRENA's websites. So going beyond these knowledge products, we also want to look at some specific aspects like the risk mitigation, risk management relating to investment. So we do have a SR, Sustainable Renewables Risk Mitigation Initiative, with a number of MDBs, World Bank, UN system entities, Regional Development Bank, etc., which is looking at de-risking investments in renewable energy. A lot of developing countries, including Turkey to some extent, need external finance. So they need to be de-risked for possible country risk, currency risks, etc. So this initiative looks at that. We also try to deploy products which are relevant in a geographic scope, like city level, country level. So we have a solar city simulator, which allows countries to select a particular city and then have this tool available to the businesses and residents of that city to look at how solar could be deployed in their rooftop. And we're very happy to mention that we did deploy a solar city simulator for Gaziantep in Turkey last year or so. And this is a tool which is available. And we also have the global solar irradiance and wind data for all the countries, including Turkey, through a global atlas for renewable energy that is available globally. Next slide, please. Increasingly, the global forums like G7 and G20, G20 in particular, where Turkey is a member, have been addressing the global policy dimensions and program dimensions of energy transition and climate change. And as you will see, IRENA is working together with our member states, Italy and Brazil, which is in accession, to contribute to their global agenda on energy transition. So the G7, we did some analysis on how the G7 countries are progressing in terms of tripling renewables, what need to be done. And the G7 has asked us to monitor their progress of tripling by 2030. This is the whole work that we did G7 Japan last year, which formed one of the stepping stones to this tripling commitment at COP28 last year. We also did look at importance of energy transition in Africa, which is an issue which is important to a number of G7 countries. And we are also targeting how can industries, particularly hard-to-abate sectors like cement, steel, fertilizers, etc., could move on a net zero pathway. So that is also something we did for G7 Italy. We're currently working with G20 Brazil on how can we scale up investments. As we speak, we are reviewing the final version of that, how emerging market and developing economies like Turkey and others could scale up investments. It's important to note that a lot of the tripling will happen in EMDs around the world, in Latin America, Europe, Asia, etc. And so it's important that investments are scaled up, and we're expecting that there could be some very significant developments as a result of the G20 in Brazil on the investments this side. We also want to emphasize energy planning, which has been a major pillar of IRENA's work. And there will be some guidance from G20 on energy planning as well. And we do continue to provide support to the energy transition working group at G20. And this is something which will continue in the future. Next year with the Canada G7 and also the South Africa G20, where we'll leverage our membership to continue to contribute to the global public policy on energy transition and global program. Next slide, please. So again, I did mention about our center in Bonn, which does important work on technologies and innovation. One of the current work, which just an illustrative purpose, is work that we're doing for the European Commission, where we are analyzing the possible interconnections that are required across the Mediterranean with North Africa and European, Southern European countries, how they can be increased supply of electricity, green electricity and green fuels, and the interconnections that are required, and their technical and economic feasibility. So this is an ongoing work which is currently happening. Innovation, the Honorable Minister did allude to digitalization, innovation, which is also an important aspect of energy transition. As we see more deployment of artificial intelligence, more digital use of AI, robotics across the whole value chain in industries, we expect fundamental changes in terms of usage patterns, additional intelligence available to manage grids and infrastructure, etc. So we have important work that is being done on the innovation landscape. All of this is available on the IRENA website. And we've always stressed the importance of long-term planning, and that's becoming more and more evident with the climate scenarios. And this is something which we continue to engage a large number of countries on how planning, long-term planning in the power sector, it could be an important tool in energy transition. Next slide, please. An important element that our team, the country engagement and partnerships team, this is we try to work at the country level, looking at renewable readiness or energy transition assessments. And you see some of the examples of the work we have done in Bosnia, in Solomon Islands. We did an energy transition outlook for a G20 country, Indonesia, quite recently. And we look forward to the day when we can work together with the Turkey government to do an energy transition outlook for Turkey, where we can bring all our expertise, insights to chart the course for how Turkey can achieve net zero by 2053, as has been set out there as well, and what could be the pathways for technology, financing, socioeconomics, etc., that will characterize that dimensions. And we also provide capacity building support around these on particular aspects. We do carry out capacity building, analytical work on the resources. We also, in some parts of the world, where we see how other social value chains around the health sector, education sector, but also the agri-value chain, etc., there could be more integration of renewable energy, and how can that be financed? So some of that work, for example, the one you see on your screen in Sao Tome and Principe is something that we launched recently. And finally, the NDCs, NDC 3.0 by Brazil COP30 is another important opportunity on which our teams are focusing our effort on countries and region level engagement and support. Next slide, please. An important aspect is also industry. And again, I'll showcase some of the initiatives that we have here. We also expect the industry to decarbonize itself. One, due to domestic pressures and national commitments, but also a number of jurisdictions which are export targets for industry are implementing their own net zero commitments, and there is a need for industry to align itself with the net zero commitments of the export markets that they have. So we see important pathways there, primarily renewables. We expect the direct use of renewables to play an increasingly important role. We also see that, as you will see in the screen, we expect more and more electrification of process heat and heat in general. And that could be a defining trend of the next 10, 20 years or so. And with most of that electricity coming from renewable energy. And we also see an important role for hydrogen, possibly green hydrogen, and also advanced biofuels. And there could be other options as well. So industry, particularly heavy industry, to decarbonize is going to be quite an undertaking, considering the technologies available, the fuels available, and also the finance. And this is where I want to talk a bit about some of the initiatives that we have. Next slide, please. Gürbüz Bey did talk about the geothermal potential in Turkey, and geothermal, because of the nature of the technology which has been around for a while, provides a significant opportunity, not just in power generation, but also low-grade direct use. So we have an alliance called the Global Geothermal Alliance, which does look at opportunities for strategic heating and cooling. And we have done some analytical work and guidance in countries such as Bosnia, and Mongolia. We plan to do something similar in Moldova as well. As I did mention, agri-value chain offers a significant opportunity to use geothermal heat. And we do carry out assessments in countries which do have the combination of agricultural production as well as geothermal energy, how geothermal heat can actually be used in direct manner in the agri-value chain. In addition to this, we do publish education resources, which are aimed at the industry as well as the country, how they can mainstream and increase the use of geothermal energy. Any country and the industry associations can join GGA. And if MÜSİAD or others industry associations are interested, my colleagues Petya and Barbara would be available to have discussions and, if appropriate, connect colleagues to the right teams within Arena. Next slide, please. The Honorable Minister did allude to the significant, I believe it was 5 gigawatt target that Turkey has for offshore wind. This is something offshore wind does offer significant opportunities, but also does have challenges in terms of cost structures, technological aspects, etc. So we have launched at COP27 and the Global Offshore Wind Alliance with a number of arena partners, including Denmark. It's now chaired by Denmark and Colombia. And it brings together countries and industry organizations around the theme of increasing global offshore wind. And global offshore wind deployment and at scale is an important aspect of the 2030 tripling target as well. So this is again a coalition and an important arena platform where governments such as Turkey as well as industry associations could consider joining. Again, more information can be provided and linkages established to the teams leading this alliance. Next slide, please. Another important alliance is for industry decarbonization. As I did mention, a number of industry value chains, particularly the hard weight sectors, do need renewable-based solutions, including green hydrogen, as well as electrification, to achieve their own net zero goals or the net zero goals of the jurisdictions in which they operate or they export to. And the alliance brings together a number of key hard-to-abate industry players globally, where they can share lessons and work together to achieve their own decarbonization objectives. Next slide, please. So these are some of the members and partners, and while we have a very strong membership, there's often scope for more. And this is something which is primarily targeted at the industry. So there could be MÜSİAD members who might find this interesting. So it does cover energy, industry services, steel, aluminum, chemicals, including fertilizers, mining, waste and water, as well as consumer goods and others which are hard to abate. So there's a range of industries that are covered by the Alliance for Industry Decarbonization. And please obtain more information and consider whether this is something which some of the members or associations would want to join. Next slide, please. This slide talks about some of the benefits of becoming a member of the Alliance. I'm not going to go into the details of it, but we'll leave those details with MÜSİAD. So for you to consider what are the benefits. And if I can go to the next slide, please. This shows some of the responsibilities. So by joining an important arena platform such as this, there are some limited responsibilities that we also want, commitments, for example, for net zero, acknowledgement of the alliance, etc. So again, these details will be available through MÜSİAD for those who want to consider. Next slide, please. The alliance does make publication. There was a recent guidance available to decarbonize the steel industry. There is also a platform for capacity building, which is available to any organization which becomes a member of it. So there are increasing array of tools that we are deploying to support the alliance members to decarbonize themselves and be aligned with the national and international net zero commitments. Next slide, please. Again, come back to some of the urgent actions which I referred to earlier. I wouldn't go into more details again, but the point to make here is that the role of the infrastructure and the system operators is quite important. And if we can go to the next slide. For this reason, we have created the Utilities for Net Zero Alliance. So the net zero transition, the energy transition, will require energy utilities, which generate, transmit, and distribute energy. And it is important to bring together these utilities to drive action and create a platform for sharing lessons and best practices here. So this alliance was actually launched several months ago at COP28. Next slide, please. And this alliance again brings together some very important industry players, several utilities here in the Middle East and North Africa, as well as in Europe and around the world. This works in a similar manner to EFID, bringing together a particular industry segment, here the utility industry, and then creating a space for them to share experience and then progress together. Next slide, please. Similar to the EFID, these are some of the benefits. So if there are energy utilities in this room who are MÜSİAD members, you may want to, not just the system operators, but the independent power producers as well. You may want to consider these benefits and see whether you want to join the UNESA. Next slide, please. Similar to EFID, there are some responsibilities as well. So these details are available for you to consider. So these are more resources for about this industry, EFID, Decarbonization Alliance, and also utilities for net zero. And you will see a number of links where IRENA resources could be available. In closing, I just want to say that IRENA is available at the disposal of an important country like Turkey and the key stakeholders, particularly the industry, with our tools and insights to support and guide you in your energy transition. So please continue to engage with us, with my colleagues, Petya and Barbara in particular. Together, let's work together to understand where IRENA could contribute with our insights and analytical work, and perhaps some more, as Eric will mention, regarding the project facilitation, etc. So with that, I'd like to conclude by thanking MÜSİAD and the Ministry of Energy for this opportunity for us to share some insights, and I'm available to answer any questions or clarifications that you have. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Binu. As just taking some notes, IRENA has member countries for 169 countries, and the headquarters located in Abu Dhabi, as far as I just took it note. For the also NDC 2.0, there's a new, I think, new thing. The NDCs should be some numerical positions after all for the countries, and the IRENA is some kind of tracing all these kind of NDCs coming from the countries. This is also some important role on this one. Also, this is very important to keep the touch within IRENA, also for our companies and some country bodies to create some more opportunities, as far as I understand it.
Yeah, just on the NDC part, it should have been NDC 3.0. So what we are trying to do is that the major tool in the NDCs for energy transition is renewable energy and other decarbonization options. So we are working with all our member states to support them to increase the ambition on energy transition in the NDCs. And this is something that is something we'll be very keen to continue to work with Turkey and also other member states in your region and beyond. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Then we will jump to Mr. Eric Ruiz Araya for the second presentation from the IRENA side. So just one question. We're gonna be able to share your presentation with our members, or it's your idea, Binu?
Yes.
Can do it or not?
Yeah, it is available to the members and it's in the public domain. And,
Great, okay.
Happy to share more information. And
Thank you very much. That's great. That's great. Teşekkür ediyoruz Binu Bey'e sunumları için. Sunumu paylaşmamızda bir mahsur yok. İnşallah katılımcılarımızla sonrasında sunumumuzda paylaşacağız. Yine tekrar bir özet olması anlamına İran'a 169 ülkenin şu an itibariyle Birleşmiş Milletler üye 169 ülkenin desteğiyle çalışmalarını sürdüren önemli bir yenilenebilir enerji ve dekarbonizasyon hem yatırım hem proje geliştirme hem kapasite artırma platformu olarak isimlendirebileceğimiz bir yapı. Merkezi Abu Dhabi'de bulunuyor şu an itibariyle ve birçok farklı programlarla da bu kapasite gelişimini kendi içerisinde hem finansal anlamda hem sosyal destekler anlamda İran'a yoğun bir şekilde yürütüyor. Ülkemizle olan ilişkileri bugüne kadar ülkemizin de fonlama ve destek tarafında bulunuyor olmasına rağmen istediğimiz seviyelere bir türlü erişemediğinden Bino Bey bahsetti. İnşallah önümüzdeki dönem ve bu toplantılardan sonra bu gelişmenin çok daha hızlı olacağını ve ülkemiz hem enerji yatırımcıları hem çevre yatırımcıları ve hem diğer konularda çalışanlar açısından da İran ilişkilerin daha da sıkılaştırılarak daha önemli noktalara getirebileceğimizi de ifade ettiler. Çok kıymetli yayınları var kendi çevre ve enerji alanlarıyla ilgili. Özellikle o yayınların belli kısmını da yanlış bilmiyorsam web sitelerinden de zaten yayınlıyor İRENA. Bu noktada da çok özel kaynaklar ve çok güncel de araştırma verilerine sahipler. Bunu da özellikle ben dinleyicilerimize ifade etmek isterim ki bu çok kıymetli kaynakları da mutlaka ellerinde bulundurmalarında fayda vardır diye düşünüyoruz. Ben hemen ikinci konuşmacımıza sözü vermek istiyorum. Okay, please, Mr. Eric, you can also take the notes. Then you have the words, please.
Thank you, Ismail. Deputy Minister, dear colleagues, it is a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us today. And we are going to, after the introduction from my colleague, we're going to deep dive on the project facilitation support division, which is one of the divisions that we have in ARENA, and as it was introduced, is actually the youngest division. We've been around since 2020, but we just want to
sorry, me, Eric. I think you have some lower of your voice. Can you please just increase the voice, please?
Okay. I'll try to speak louder. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Now it's better. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I'll just want to speak louder. As I was saying, and that was introduced by my colleague Binu, the Project Facilitation and Support Division in ARENA is the youngest division. We have been around since 2020, so for 4 years now, and what we want to give you is a snapshot on what we do and how is that we carry on the work of the agency. As my colleague Binu explained, ARENA has a really rich body of knowledge, research and publications on advocacy on renewables, on the potential renewables. And in 2020, as part of the vision of our current Director General, the idea was to create a division that was going to capitalize on all this knowledge in order to mobilize finance towards the acceleration of renewables in ARENA member countries. And that is how Project Facilitation Support was born. We really like to start every time with this image to kind of raise awareness of where we are at today and what we are aiming at in the future. And as you can see, in order to achieve the 2050 scenarios, we are 1.7 trillion annually per year short in investment. So compared to where we are today and where we want to get, we have to invest $47 trillion in the next years until 2050. So project facilitation was born with the objective to support this deployment of renewable energy projects, generation, e-mobility, off-grid, residential projects, and to connect the project developers with the financial options that are out there and perhaps they don't have access or knowledge about their existence. And coming back to this, the 5 pillars: international collaboration, infrastructure, regulatory policy, supply chains, and finance. Project facilitation focuses highly on the finance related to the other 4. And we do it today through 2 specific tools that are available and live in our ARENA website, which are the Energy Transition Accelerated Financing Platform and the Climate Investment Platform. And allow me to walk you through the 2 of them, what they do, how they work, and how different stakeholders can make good employment of them. So the Climate Investment Platform was a joint initiative of ARENA, SE4All, with the support of GCF, and it was launched in 2019. And what this platform is, what the platform does, is create a channel for project developers to access finance through these tools. So there is a channel for project developers to submit their projects, and there is a channel for financial institutions all over the world to submit their interest, their appetite, and their geographical and risk coverage of these projects. And IRENA is in the middle, making sure that the projects are as per the eligibility criteria, they conform to SDGs, to NDCs, and then we connect the developers with the project financiers, and we do the matchmaking between the two. So it's a demand-driven platform. It is out there available for all project developers in member countries, and IRENA is in the middle facilitating this connection as well as filtering the projects. The criteria for the projects that we work with, of course, they have to be renewable energy projects and contribute to the clean energy transition. These projects, they have to be consistent with the national climate priorities of the member countries, as well as aligned with the relevant sustainable development goals. Important that the projects have to be past conceptual stage. The projects have to have at least pre-feasibility and preliminary studies ready in order to be considered for IRENA support. How or what kind of partners we have in the climate investment platform? So our partners come from a great broad of financial institutions, to academia, to NGOs, to technical partners. So in the climate investment platform, there is a third leg that is what we call technical partners, that are partners that perhaps do not offer finance to projects, but they offer technical support. Partners that can take on feasibility studies, environmental impact social studies, partners that can be a consultant to the developer on the different areas that perhaps they are lacking knowledge. So if we get projects that are on that stage and are looking for that kind of partners, we also connect them to the climate investment platform. Then on the other side, the financial partners, they offer products as debt or equity or de-risking guarantees. There is also a portion for grant, mezzanine funding. All this is available to the platform. So whenever we get a project, it is important for us to see what is the need from the developer, and then based on that, we will connect it to the right financial partner. The project submission is straightforward. The platform is live, so there is a button to submit the project. So the project registers. We as IRENA, we do a pre-screening of this project and a panel review. If the project passes the pre-screening, then we will develop what we call the project information document, which is a very comprehensive report that tackles on everything that we know that our financial partners are looking for. And then we refer this to our financial partners once completed, wait for their interest and do the match. If the project is not ready for the PID, then we will go back to the project developer and support them to technical advisory services. We will basically walk them by hand on what needs to be completed in terms of documentation to fulfill the requirements from partners and the appetite of partners as well. So that is something that we do in-house and we offer as well to the project developers. In case of partnerships, if there are partners out there that are interested to see what are the projects that we have in IRENA's pipeline in order to analyze opportunities of financing these projects, or perhaps providing technical assistance to these projects, they can also register. So register as a partner. We will review internally what the partners offer and classify this partner as a financial technical partner, seeing if it's open equity, debt, grant, and so on. And then organize an introductory call with the partner to get deeper understanding of what the financial partner is looking for. And then define the criteria and start targeting, sending those projects that target that criteria specifically to those partners. And then once the partner shows interest in the project, we will connect the project developer together with the partner as IRENA in the middle as a facilitator.
Sorry, Eric, for the CIP investment side, basically, if there's a company or government body, it's not a problem, right? Any private companies can also register any projects of them in this case.
Exactly. So in terms of developers, we work with both private and public sector developers. If there's a private sector developer working in a specific geography, projects are welcome. In terms of financial institutions, the same. We work with a huge array, and I will give you an example later, but we have multilateral development banks, we have funds and development funds, we also have private sector, we work with philanthropies, we work with private developers that are interested on the projects in our pipeline. So both.
So is there any minimum or maximum boundaries for the project investment? For instance,
in the climate investment platform, there are no boundaries in terms of amount of investment and risk. In the ETAP, we do. And we'll talk about it when we get to the Energy Transition Accelerator Financing Platform. But in the climate investment platform, there isn't. So that is also, we call it like one-stop shop, these two platforms, because for the financial institution, you can see the array of projects that we have. For the developers, they can access different products, but also financial institutions can come together into projects. So if a financial institution doesn't feel comfortable in financing one project completely on their own, they can also create an alliance with other CIP partner or other ETA partner to invest together into that project and risk the project.
Okay, just give me seconds for Turkish translation. İRENA üzerinde çalıştığı birkaç tane yatırım platformu var. Bunlardan birincisi, birkaç tane daha şimdi hızlıca açıklayacak bize Erik Bey, ama Climate Investment Platform ismini verdikleri çok düşük oranlarla yüksek miktarlı finansmanla erişimi sağlayan bir platformları var İRENA'nın. Bu platform dahilinde üst ve alt limiti olmaksızın kamu kurumu veya özel sektör ayrımı da olmaksızın projelerinizi buraya dedike ediyorsunuz. Yani girişlerini yapıp kayıtlarını yaptırıyorsunuz. Daha sonra finansörlerle proje sahiplerini İRENA bu anlamda buluşturmuş oluyor. Sunumları da paylaştıktan sonra bunların daha detaylarını inşallah inceleme fırsatı bulursunuz. Özellikle proje geliştirme ve finansman tarafında çalışanlar için bu anlamda bu genel bir ifade. Sadece güneş ve rüzgar santrallerini bu arada içermiyor. Farklı konular da çalışılabiliyor aynı şekilde. Bunu da özellikle belirtmekte fayda var. Okay, please, words is yours. If you can continue. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. This is just to give you an example of a few success stories and a few numbers that we have. So we have received so far in the climate investment platform more than 400 projects. We have supported 89. Why only 89? Because a lot of these projects do not meet the eligibility criteria, so they are not past conceptual stage or have pre-feasibility studies ready, and also because resources are limited. So we focus on the projects with highest potential. Among the 89 supported, we have so far introduced 34 partners, 14 are under discussion, and we have financially closed 5 in the 5 countries that you can see down here in the presentation. Today, we have more than 400 partners registered, technical and financial partners. These 5 projects represent 64.8 megawatts totally, which also represent $85 million who have been financially moved through the climate investment platform. Let's move ahead. So this is just a snapshot of how the website looks like. So the address of the website is up here, and there are 2 channels: submit a project or become a partner. Later on, we have done webinars that walk you through step by step on how to do both, and we will share the links to those webinars at the end. Now, the ETAP platform is our latest initiative, and the Energy Transition Accelerator Financing Platform, it is the legacy of the IRENA Abu Dhabi Fund for Development platform that ran from 2014 to 2020. The IRENA IDFE platform mobilized finance from the Abu Dhabi Fund for Development through a different campaign of projects that IRENA carry all over the world, and we closed on 30 projects, and now we're financing 24 of those projects through the Abu Dhabi Fund for Development. And this is still ongoing. The construction, the projects are still under construction. Some of them have been finalized, but although the initiative is not accepting new projects, we had a lot of lessons learned that wanted to put into something new, and so the ETAP was created. And one of those lessons learned was, number one, we need more than one partner. Having only the Abu Dhabi Fund for Development, offering only one financial product, which is concessional funding, is not allowing us to have the impact that we wish to have. Number two, we need partners that cover the world. And so we have today 14 partners in total that go from the ones that focalize on sub-Saharan Africa to Asia, to Latin America, to the seeds, and also in different kinds of technologies. And then we need an accelerator. So while the climate investment platform is the one we saw first, focuses on all kinds of projects in all stages, the ETAP is an accelerator. So focuses on projects that are ready to receive finance. Very little technical assistance is required because all the studies have been done. And then the ticket size of these projects is larger. So we focus on projects that are, if public sector projects, then minimum capex, $10 million. Private sector projects, minimum capex, $25 million. And then also for the ETAF partners, even though in the climate investment platform we have more than 400, the ETAF partners, we try to keep a closer circle. And in order to bring more, let's say, a serious commitment, every time we have a new partner, the partner is required to publicly announce how much they are committing towards the ETAF, how much in terms of finance. The main goal that we had with this was created was to raise $1 billion in commitments until 2030 and close 1 gigawatt of projects. It grew very fast. The ETAF was launched during the COP. It was announced at COP 26. It was operative and launched at COP 27. And by the end of COP 28, we had 14 partners, and we have reached $4.1 billion in commitments. And we have financially closed 897 megawatts in projects. And that is 7 years earlier of our final objective. So today we're aiming at 5 billion by 2030 and 5 gigawatts as well, projects closed by 2030. These are our partners in a snapshot. So you see our anchor partner, the Abu Dhabi Fund for Development, our latest partner, Africa 50, and all of them in between bringing concessional, equity, de-risking, sovereign and non-sovereign warranties, sovereign and non-sovereign back financing, and so on. So we have the Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank, the MÜSİAD, the Treasury, the OPEC Fund, Inter-American Development Bank, the Emirates Development Bank, the Islamic Development Bank, together with ISAC, the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IFC, together with MIGA, HSBC, and Africa. The funding instruments that we have through the ETAP are very similar to the ones we have in the CIP. The only one that we do not count with today is grants. So we do count with equity concessional funding that has to be backed by sovereign warranties. We count with technical assistance. We count with the risking products. As you saw, we have 3 of the major risking entities in our partnerships, which are Swiss Re, ISTEP, and MIGA. So they come with the risking services for the projects. And then all of them can work together. So the way we get projects in the ETAP are, of course, through public and private sector, the governments, but also through the ETAP partners themselves. So one of the projects, the 3 projects that we closed in Uzbekistan was actually brought into the ETAP platform by one of the partners, which is MÜSİAD, who is itself a developer. So MÜSİAD was looking for partners to co-finance these projects. They brought them to the ETAP and then agreed to move ahead with the Asia Infrastructure and Investment Bank in the platform. The criteria is very similar to the CIP, the Climate Investment Platform. And the main caveat is that the projects have to be larger in scale, so the project size, as I mentioned, and then it has to be ready to finance, so past feasibility studies. While in the Climate Investment Platform, pre-feasibility studies are enough. And then this is our website. And in the website, there is a space for submit your project. There is no space to become a partner, because becoming a partner in data is a bit of a different process. In order to become an ETAF partner, an analysis is done on an assessment on the new partner being proposed. This assessment is given to the current partners who have to give their non-objection. Then once that is done, a collaboration agreement has to be signed. And then a press release has to be made announcing what the partners are committing as a soft pledge for the ETAP. While on the CIP, there is no commitment whatsoever. You can become a partner just by clicking and submitting the information. Also important to know that this doesn't have any cost for the partners. Everything that we do as Arena, being the kind of organization that we are, we do it as a service for our members. So it's all for free. So it doesn't have a cost also for the project developers to employ this platform, which is a great opportunity out there that needs to be used. Once the project is submitted, the analysis goes similar to the CIP. However, there is, after the initial screening, the due diligence is completed by the ETAP partners that have shown interest on the project. So if one ETAP or more partners are interested in mobilizing finance for that project, they will take the due diligence on their side with Arena's facilitator. They will decide if it is more than one partner, which partner is going to be the one performing it, and the other partners are going to be capitalizing on that due diligence, also to move things faster and to create synergies. And then they will move ahead in financing the project. Important to notice, as Arena, we do not hold funds, and we do not influence on the decision of the partners of which projects to invest on. So the $4.1 billion that I mentioned at the beginning, they are not in Arena accounts. These are on the different partners. And once the decision is made, the resources will move from the partner account to the developer account without going through Arena, because it's not our mandate. We are not a bank, and we are not a fund either. Where are we today on the ETAP? So since it was launched at the COP27, we have received 64 project applications, from which we have assessed all of them, all require further feedback. 17 of these have been recommended to partners, and 15 have already shown interest from partners, and we have financially closed 3 of those projects. As you can see down here, most of those projects are submitted from the African region. Second place, Latin America. Then we have Asia, Middle East, and North Africa, Europe, and last place we have the small island development states. Since the beginning, we have closed 897 megawatts, which signified around 1 million homes with clean energy. This project is under construction in Uzbekistan, so starting of 2024, this has the potential to energize 100 million homes with clean energy in the country. Now, something, these 2 platforms, together with our member companies, they all work towards one of our flagship activities, we'll say, and we try to cover the world with these, which are our regional investment funds. And this is an activity that is guided by our country engagement and partnership division with the support of project facilitation, where we go on the ground of our member countries, and we gather the countries in the region, developers from the world, financial institutions from the world, and project developers from the region, have face-to-face opportunities to discuss on the challenges, to discuss on what needs to change, to discuss on the potential that the renewables have on the ground, and then to have matchmaking sessions where the project developers will have the opportunity to engage face-to-face with the financial institutions on projects that we have previously discussed already. So this workshop, so far, we have covered the Latin American region, we have covered the Caribbean islands, and we have also covered the Southeast Asia, and now we are prepping up for the APRA, the African Partnership for Accelerating Renewables, which is going to take place in September in Kenya, as well as the Central Asia, which is going to take place on the sidelines of the COP29 in Azerbaijan. Last but not least, you will have this presentation, but here you can take a view of the different webinars we have carried out. We have completed 2 webinars on the ETAP, one in Spanish and one in English, and 1 webinar on the climate investment platform. And these webinars show you exactly how to employ the platforms, what are the requirements, what are the things that we are looking at, and then step by step on every field that needs to be filled and every document that needs to be attached in order to submit a project to Arena. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Eric, for your very nice contributions. So I would like to just give a word to Mr. Serhat, who's president of our MÜSİAD Invest Commission. He will just give a couple of speeches, then we will continue. Serhat Bey'e ben bir söz vermek istiyorum. MÜSİAD Invest Başkanımız kendileri. Özellikle bu boyutta hem İTAF hem Climate Investment Platform tarafında yatırım konusunda birkaç herhalde söyleyeceği olmalıdır diye tahmin ediyorum. Serhat Başkanım, buyurun lütfen.
İsmail Başkanım, teşekkür ediyorum. With your permission, first I would like to say Turkish and then I will switch to the English. İsmail Başkanım, tekrar teşekkür ediyorum. Sayın Bakanım, Sayın Başkanlarım ve çok değerli Gürbüz Bey, İran heyeti, tekrar teşekkür ediyoruz bugün için. Özellikle tabii ki Erik tarafında söylenen İTAF sistemi bizim için çok kıymetli. Bizler de MÜSİAD Invest olarak MÜSİAD üyelerimizin sermaye hareketliliğini artırabilmek için elimizden geleni yapıyoruz. Dolayısıyla böyle bir yatırım hacmi ülkemizde faaliyet gösteren enerji projelerine ve bu projelerde faaliyet gösteren üye firmalarımızın hacmini ciddi artıracağını düşünüyoruz. Para kaynaklarına ulaşım noktasında da güzel bir işbirliği olacak. Zaten süreç içerisinde hem Gürbüz Bey'le hem Erik'le de çok sık iletişim halindeyiz. İsmail Başkanım'la da güzel bir işbirliği geliştirdik bu noktada. O yüzden tekrar teşekkür ediyoruz. Ve İTAF sistemi aslında bizim enerji sektörümüzde faaliyet gösteren firmalarımız için çok kıymetli. Çünkü burada ciddi yatırım hacimleri ve finansman hacimleri var. Ve Türkiye olarak bunlardan daha fazla pay almamız gerektiğini düşünüyoruz. Türkiye'deki firmalarımız olarak daha fazla pay almamız gerektiğini düşünüyoruz. Ve dolayısıyla da bu tarz bilgilendirici webinarlar ve daha sonrasında yapacağımız zirve farkındalık anlamında çok kıymet oluşturacaktır. Dolayısıyla tekrar teşekkür ediyorum. I'm switching to English. Thank you so much, Mr. Ismail, for giving the words to me. And our Mr. Minister, thank you so much for your kind participation and kind information. And Mr. Erhan, thank you so much for your opening speech. And the valuable Irana team. It's always good to see you in the platform and discuss those things. And Mr. Gürbüz, thank you so much for your kind collaboration for creating this structure and creating this partnership. And Mr. Eric, it's always as the president of the MÜSİAD Invest, the most important part from us is the İTAF system. Therefore, I think this is the valuable information for our members and the firms who's in the renewable energy sector in Turkey. It's really valuable, which you're giving the information. We believe that we would like to get more part for the investment ecosystem of the İTAF, and we will trying to extend and increase the numbers of the application for the investment and finance part of the İTAF in terms of the renewable energy sector. Therefore, we have a good collaboration with Mr. Ismail for extending this investment capacity. And thank you so much again. I just wanted to thank you. And again, Mr. Ismail, I would like to give you the word.
Thank you. Son konuşmacımıza geçiyoruz. Çok kıymetli Ali Osman Kılınç Arslan Bey'in sunumunu dinleyeceğiz son olarak. Ondan sonra inşallah kapatacağız. Bu arada şunu ifade etmek istiyorum. Sohbet kısmına programımızın her iki İRENA sunumunu da biraz önce gönderdik PDF olarak. Oradan almak isteyenler alırsa eğer bu izleyicilerimiz için, katılımcılarımız için de özel bir dosya olmuş olacak inşallah. Ben Ali Osman Bey'e sözü bırakmak istiyorum son sunum için. Akabinde de inşallah kapatacağız. Buyurun Ali Osman Beyciğim.
Merhabalar. Öncelikle buradan Sayın Bakanıma ve İran'a delegelerine teşekkür etmek istiyorum. Böyle bir webinara katılmama sağladıkları için. I will continue in English. First of all, I want to thank you to my honorable minister and distinguished delegates of IRENA and the other participants from MÜSİAD. I'm going to share my presentation. Is it possible? Okay. Can you see the presentation?
Yeah. We see it. Yes, no problem. Görüyoruz Ali Osman Bey, sorun yok.
Yes, I will present the Turkey Nation Energy Plan. It's very important plan for the Turkey's history, energy history that shows the future plans for Turkey's energy plan. And also, do you know that Turkey has 2053 net zero emission target, which is very important and declared by our president in 2022. Our plan is prepared according to this net zero emission target, but we declared in the plan only the period of 2020 and 2035. But I will also mention the period of the 2035 and 2053 period at the end of this presentation. Starting the mentioning about the energy plan, I wanted to speak about what we did as a Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources in last 5 years. It's very important that for our localization policy, using domestic resources policy, our commission installed power 86% was domestic and also 81% were renewable energy resources, and this happened in last 5 years. And the share of domestic resources in electricity generation has increased from 35% to 58% in the last 5 years. And also the commissioned renewable energy, especially wind and the solar, in the 5 years, approximately half of the wind and the solar capacity installed. That's I think that's very important leap for the renewable energy transition in Turkish energy system. And also the share of wind and the solar in daily electricity generation reached 31.7%, break the record. And the domestic share of wind capacity, installed capacity increased 60%, and the solar installed capacity is 77%. And we use Primes model to calculate the forecast 2053 Turkey's energy system, but this is not the pure Primes model. We tailor it considering the Turkey's situations and also Turkey's policies and strategies. And so we created Turkey energy model, starting with the year 2018, with 5,000 hours of training activities, and also more than 100 consultation meetings, and creating modeling. We work with. I'm the one of the modeling team. 15 my colleagues. I want to thank my colleagues here for great work. How this model is working? There's a form module, and these models are speaking each other, and they balance each other. So first of all, the model, when we give the activity data to the model, and the model calculates the demand. So there's assumptions for these macroeconomic factors: oil price, GDP, population, and also other sectors, industry, households, transformation, detailed Excel files. It's very complicated. And then the model calculates the demand model, and also the power and heat model, trying to supply this demand and the power module then speaks with the biomass module. Biomass module supply biomass and coming from the demand module, which biomass demand, and also calculating one more time this model at least 3 times. The model takes comes to balance because the prices there happen at prices especially in demand model and then the power model, but they work in each other. The prices, energy prices, and also demand side has to be balanced. So we did at least 3 iterations in this working with this model. I'm really sorry, it's working too slow. Yes. What was the assumptions? I've already mentioned that there is too much important strategies and policy papers already published and declared in the Turkey Enerji for the Turkey. We use this model and the plan is compliance with the governmental policy documents. We also use the scenario of 2053 net zero emission target, and this model uses low cost optimization and system cost minimization. That means system trying to reach net zero emission targets at the target year 2053, minimum with minimum cost as possible. But also we add behavioral consumer movements. That's very important because we faced some problems with the optimization models. Price is not the first thing some energy movements. So sometimes behavioral consumer movements are more effective than the prices, especially in the demand side. So we can use some behavioral consumer movements using some codes in the energy model. Also, we used population growth trends. We took the Turkstats forecasts up to 2053, and also we used GDP growth. We took data GDP growth from Presidency Strategy Budget Organization. And also, there's a sectoral transformations, especially in industry. The electrification policy is very important to reach the net zero, also decarbonize especially the demand sector. Also, Irina delegates mentioned about the importance of the electrification. In the plan, electrification share will increasing up to 2053. And also the model has embedded new technologies and fuels. So in optimization, the model chooses new technologies if feasible or more efficient. So we used at the data sources, public institutions, and also our experts in the Ministry of Energy, our data, and then international organizations, International Energy Agency, World Bank. Yes. When we look at the primary energy consumption, I will speak about the 15-year period starting from the 2020 and 2035, all at the end of the end of this presentation. And in the last slide, I will give information about the 2035 and the 2053 period. Primary energy consumption increases 147.2 million tons to 205 million tons. And energy consumption per person increases to 2.1 tons of oil equivalent. And also, which is important for us, the share of renewable energy resources are increasing up to 23.7%. It's very important because it's a primary energy consumption. It's not easy to increase renewable energy resources in the primary energy consumption because it's not the only the electricity sector. There's on households, agriculture, industry, and transport. All these sectors included, the share of renewable energy sources are increasing. And also share of nuclear energy increases approximately 6% at 2035. And the share of fossil fuels, which is important to decarbonize the energy system, decreases to 70%, which was 82% in 2020. And our policy to use domestic resources in energy, which is important issue, is the import dependency rate is decreasing in just 15-year period, 70% to 51%, and these equivalent of recoveries today's prices is 37 billion annually. And when we look at the final energy consumption by sectors, final energy consumption increases 148.5 million tons of oil equivalent. And you can also see the sectors increasing or decreasing percentage in this slide. When we come to the electricity consumption, we see that by the effect of the electrification and also growing population and the growing economy, electricity consumption increasing 510.5 terawatt hours in the 2035. And this is when we look at the consumption growth rates, this is 3.5% per year in this period. And I already mentioned the electrification effect. The share of electricity in the final energy consumption increases up to 24%, 24.9%, approximately 25%. That increases the need for generating electricity. I'm going to the other slide. Okay, sorry for the being slow, it's really slow. And when we look at the installed capacity, and just installed capacity is growing, you can see we will reach 100 and approximately 90 gigawatts in 2035. And when we look at the solar and the wind, as particularly, we see the solar capacity increasing approximately 8 times, and also wind, it's 4 times, capacity is increasing 4 times approximately. And the offshore wind also included this data, included in the 30 gigawatt wind capacity. We plan to install offshore wind at 5 gigawatts in 2035. And also hydro capacity is increasing to 35 gigawatts, biomass and also increasing to 5 gigawatts. And nuclear energy install capacity increases to 7.2 gigawatts, including Akku nuclear power plant. I'm really sorry about that. Yes. When we look at electricity generation, it's important to see this statistic with in the generation, especially in the renewable. Share of renewable resources increases 55% approximately in the 2035, and compatible with our energy policies, the share of domestic resources are increasing to 65%. That's excluding from the domestic natural gas production. The share of nuclear energy increases to 11%, and the share of electricity generation of power plants, which is important to decarbonize energy system. The share of the thermal power plants decreases down to 34% in the 2035. And the highly integration of the renewable energy, the system needs more flexibility, because it will be approximately 80 gigawatts of solar and wind in the system at the year of 2035. And so we have to take precautions about this. And the battery capacity will reach 7.5 gigawatts in the 2035. And also electrolyzer capacity, which will produce hydrogen, will reach to 5 gigawatts. We use hydrogen. We plan to use hydrogen to blend with natural gas, so the demand sectors, especially household industry, can use the natural gas with less emission factor. This is also important for the hard-to-abate sector, are highly dependent to the natural gas. We have also policies increasing renewable energy and electrification, but in some points, you have to use natural gas, and we plan to blend hydrogen with natural gas, so decrease the emissions originating from especially highly dependent on these sectors. And also we have planned pumped storage hydro increasing, and also I have already mentioned electrolyzer capacity, which is power to X, and the demand side participation. We plan to increase the demand side participation 1.7 gigawatts in 2035. Okay. Okay, I've already mentioned that I want to speak about the after the other period of after the 2035 period to target year. We also planned this year, and we have result about this year. So primary energy consumption increases by average 1% per year in this period, and also share of domestic resources in primary energy supply increases to 87%, and the share of renewable energy sources increases to 50%. which is very important to decarbonize the system. And also nuclear energy reaches a share of approximately 29%. The share of fossil fuels resources in primary energy consumption decreases to 20%, which was very important data, which was I already mentioned in the slide 2. It was 80%, and we plan to this to 20% in the 2053. That's very important policy of the Turkey Enerji Plan. Electricity consumption increases by average every year 5.2. That could be very big for you, but I've already mentioned that this is the effect of electrification. So we are trying to change the fossil fuels with electricity, and also populational growth and the economic growth. Economic growth with the people uses more electricity per person. With these effects, step by step, electricity consumption increases by 5.2% in every year in this period, and this makes very hard to decarbonize system. So you have to use all options, electrification, renewable energy, to decarbonize the electricity system. The share of renewable energy sources is expected to reach 84% approximately in the installed capacity, and also approximately 70% in electricity generation. And the share of electricity final energy consumption reaches 55%. And also, I already mentioned in the previous slides, it will be increased, such as batteries, electrolyzers, and the demand side participations. That's very important because highly integration of renewable decreases the flexibility of system, so instruments will help increase the flexibility of the energy system. The share of hydrogen in terms of energy equivalent in the natural gas mixture is projected to reach 12% in 2053, and also share of synthetic methane is projected to reach 30%. These very important to decarbonize, especially the household sector and industry sector that are highly dependent on the natural gas, and so we can decrease the emissions using hydrogen produced by the renewable energy, so it will be zero emission hydrogen. So we can decrease the emissions originating from the natural gas. I want to end my presentation here.
Thank you, Mr. Ali Osman. Ali Osman Bey'e çok teşekkür ediyoruz kıymetli sunumları için. Bir miktar gecikmeli de olsa programımızı tamamlıyoruz. Ben Sayın Bakanıma son sözü bırakıp kendilerinin kapatmasını rica edeceğim. Tekrar Gürbüz Bey şahsınızda İrena tarafına ben çok teşekkür ediyorum katkıları için. Dinleyicilerimize tekrar çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Ekim ayındaki yüz yüze toplantımızda böyle daha detaylı projelerin belki konuşulabileceği, nasıl finansman olanaklarının olduğunu detaylandırabileceğimiz bir yapıyla da tekrar inşallah karşınızda olmayı diliyoruz. Kıymetli bakanımıza ben sözü veriyorum. Çok teşekkür ediyorum kendilerine tekrardan. Sağ olun.
Ben de çok teşekkür ediyorum. Gerçekten çok istifade ettiğimiz güzel bir program oldu. Bu anlamda katkı veren tüm partnerlerimize, paydaşlarımıza ben özellikle teşekkür ediyorum. Bu vesileyle de Sayın Bakanımız Alparslan Bayraktar'ın da selamlarını tüm katılımcılara iletmek istiyorum. İnşallah önümüzdeki süreçte daha farklı, daha derinlemesine çalışmaların yürütülebileceği programlarda bir araya gelmeyi ümit ediyorum. Tabii özellikle MÜSİAD'ın ve İRENA'nın ve buna benzer diğer kuruluşlarımızın birbirleriyle olan iletişimi, yakın çalışma yapmaları süreçlerin ilerletilmesi açısından, verimliliğin arttırılması açısından büyük önem arz ediyor. Özellikle finansal konular, finansal kaynaklar konusu malumunuz çok önemli. Bu açılardan da bakıldığı zaman bu işbirliklerinin derinleştirilmesi çok kıymetli. Bizler de bakanlık olarak gerek Dış İlişkiler Genel Müdürlüğümüz, gerek Enerji İşleri Genel Müdürlüğümüz olarak bu süreçlere elimizden gelen tüm katkıyı, çabayı vererek destek olmak istiyoruz. Ben tekrar hepinize çok teşekkür ediyorum. Başarılar diliyorum.
Çok teşekkür ederiz Sayın Bakanım. Tekrar teşekkür ediyoruz. Serhat Başkanım, var mı sizin de söyleyecekleriniz? Kapatıyoruz. Tekrar
Başkanım çok teşekkür ederiz. Sayın Bakanım, kıymetli açıklamalarınız için bizler de çok teşekkür ediyoruz. İran ekibi teşekkür ediyoruz tekrar. Gürbüz Bey, Erik, Binüven. Thank you so much again for your kind contribution and participation. Mr. Ismail, we will hope that we will see in the summit and gathering to
Yeah.
extend the point. Perfect.
Gürbüz Bey, size de tekrar teşekkür ediyoruz. Kapatıyoruz inşallah.
Çok teşekkürler. Bizler de çok teşekkür ediyoruz.
Peki. Görüşmek üzere. Saygılar sunuyoruz. Herkese iyi hayırlı işler diliyoruz. Sağ olun.
Hoşçakalın.
Alo?